Ow.
Alright guys, for today's video, as you see, we're sitting inside the Cruise because I got something new I want to show you. So, if you watched any of my videos, you know that I'm a GM guy, right? So I have the Cruise, I have the KD, I have two older Camaros, the Cruise and KD are obviously OBD2. OBD2 is onboard diagnostics version 2. The cars switched to that around 96 or so, and since then they have been rolling with that. And what that is that's a computer system that kind of integrates all into your car, that has a bunch of various different sensors that read the codes and how a bunch of sensors that read how the engine is running. If engine is running out of specs per what it should be reading per in a computer, it'll pop up some sort of code. Okay, it's got more and more crazy integrated the longer it's gone on. And I think personally right now, cars that are new cars have way too much computer nonsense in it. But it is what it is. But since we went to OBD2, a benefit of that is that it has been a little bit easier to kind of diagnose, track things down in your car to see what could potentially be wrong with it. Now, for OBD1 cars, you used to have to jump the little computer port with a little, like you could do with a paper clipper that had like a little fork tool that would go in there, and you would turn the key and it would flash the check engine light and tell you what your code is. When I went to OBD2, you would plug in just like a code reader like this, and this is what I've been using for years and years and years now, that you plug it in and it would pop up and it'll tell you what the code is, like a P0173. And you would have to go and kind of look that up and try and figure out what that code is, and then try and do your research to try and figure out what could be causing the problem. So this works good for getting you the code, but that's pretty much all it does. And everyone should have some form of code reader in their car. Now, with that being said, King Bolin reached out to me the other week and asked if I would be interested in checking out one of their diagnostic two-way communicator products. So I said, yeah, sure. Since I am a GM guy, they decided to send me out this, it's called the Launch, the C-Reader or Creator Elite version 3. This is for GM cars. At least the stuff that comes on it is programmed specifically to auto read the VIN of GM vehicles right now. I was looking through the manual a little bit, that you can go to the little mall section, and it looks like you can also add on other car brands to work with this reader. But this is what it looks like. So it is not only just a code, it's not just a code reader like this one, which is what I've been using, which works for reading me codes, but this is it's a code reader. It is also can read live data going on happening in your car, like what the sensors are reading at any given point in time while the car is running, which will help you track down what could be causing the code. It makes diagnosing stuff a little bit easier. Well, actually a lot bit easier. And it's also bi-directional. So it means that I can, and depending on what your vehicle is, I can reset sort of things. Like if I say, throw in like a brake, maybe like a brake light or something, because your brake fluid got a little bit low, and it's an ABS system, and you had to flush out the ABS system, and you have to do it in a certain order. You can send signals from this to the computer to let the computer know that you're doing something and that you want to reset it at any given time. So it's bi-directional. So as opposed to just reading stuff, I can also talk to the computer and have it do things that I want to do. What it will do is going to be dependent on any given vehicle from what I can see in the manual, but we're about to plug this in here and check it out. Now, I got the cable hooked up in here. It comes with the reader right there in the bottom shelf and the cable up here, and it has a USB-C charger, because this is an internal battery plug right there. It's internal battery charged here. It does not power off of the OBD2 port, I don't believe. But when I pulled it out, and it was at 98% charged, and then I just kind of did a little setup to update the firmware and stuff in here, because this has free updates for life for firmware or any sort of things that goes with this system. So that's something cool. All right, so what we'll do here is I can turn it on. All right, there's a little screen here. I'm going to plug it up into my port, which is down under here on the left side. for a cruise. Okay, and this has an auto VIN detect. VCI powered up. Okay, and there is doing a firmware update here as I got it plugged into the car, which is fine. I updated the software, but not the firmware on here. I should probably check that beforehand. But this is just updating. But this has auto VIN detection for GM vehicles. So when you plug it in there, obviously it should read your VIN number, and inside your VIN number is like a code for the car. It's not only the serial number of individual car, but also tells you exactly what like what the engine is, transmission is, all that sort of stuff, and it will let this system know that what all sensors and everything should be in the car. So this is reading the VIN right now. I got the windows up in here to make it kind of cool, and I'm cooking. Now, if you do have issues with the auto VIN, you can go and enter in the VIN manually, and if you'll find the VIN up here at the base of the windshield there. Okay, hang on, maybe let me back up here. Sorry, vehicle is not sport. Oh my god. Okay, so maybe my Cruise is a little too old for that, or maybe we're just gonna start the car up. Okay, undo that. Plug it back in. See if it'll auto detect the VIN with it running. And the car may be a little too old for it to auto detect VIN. Honestly, I don't know. This is a 2011. Okay, nope, there we go. It auto detected the VIN. I'll skip through that so we don't have to see my information on my car. But now we are going to start viewing what's going on in the car here. Reading data, okay. And fault. So now I have, you see right here, no fault code, transmission brake control module, no fault code, scanning. So you can see here it's doing a health report on the system here. Body control module, inflatable restraint sensing system. Well, that's no one's in the passenger seat, no one to worry about that. Okay, as you see, I don't have any check engine lights, so I shouldn't have any real codes coming up here. So scanning through here, front heating control seats, don't have it, keyless entry, quit parking assist. I don't have a lot of stuff on here, which is good. Okay, device, engine control module abnormal. Let's see what that says. Intake air system performance passed and failed data stream. I wonder what that is, because I have no issues with it right now. You know, this may be just a little thing. This may be a leftover that maybe not be totally cleared out of the system, because these cars, no matter what it is during the winter, even if you don't have any issues, the sensors will read it and throw that you're running lean, or the intake performance thing. Body control module abnormal. What is this? Headlamps control circuit, short the battery. Headlamps control circuit open. Right headlamp control circuit, short the battery. Right headlamp control circuit open. So these may be because I switched out the headlights from the halogens to LEDs, but it's not having an issue with that. Inflatable restraint sensing and diagnostic mode. So as we see here, is reading all that stuff. So we can go back to here and let's go to local diagnose. Okay, I want to, okay, exit. Oh, here's throwing codes. Yep. And I just got my car inspected So this isn't, these codes aren't an issue. I think these are just old codes. So I'll clear all fault codes. Yep, we'll clear those out of the way. Now I didn't really look through the manual all that much, so I'm just kind of playing around with it here. No, I want to go to more. Okay, here's like if you need help and all this stuff. I want to try and get to the. Okay, let's do the auto detect again. I want to get to the where I can read the live data. Where is that? Show menu, health report. No, I don't want to do the health report again. I want to exit that. I want to do the live data so I can show you that. So now don't take this as a system thing. Take this as a me not knowing what the hell I'm doing thing here, because I'm just kind of playing it as I go. It will automatically search. Oh yes, just read the VIN again. Turn the key to on position, push start. Okay, here we go. This is what I want. System selection. So I believe this is what I want. So if I go to read health report, scan, system scan, read. I want to read data stream. Section selection here. System name, ECM. Let's see this. Oh wait, now I'm entering stuff in. Here we go. There we go. Okay, I got through it. I want to read the data stream. So right here, I'll read engine data. Let's see what's thrown at us. So we can do, let's do air fuel ratio, ambient air. Let's do, no, not deer. Engine calibration monitoring. Engine low, let's check that. Check engine stream. Evap, purge solenoid valve command. Purge solenoid valve command. Let's see. I just want to feel pressure. Let's just see, like, let's just, what we're wanting to do is just see what the computer is reading live, just to show you how we can use this to diagnose stuff, okay? Accelerator position sensor 0%. I don't have my foot on there. Actually, air fuel ratio is running at stoic. Ambient air temperature is 87.8. That's why I'm cooking it inside my car here. Engine load 23.5%. Engine speed 780ish RPM. About 45 pounds PS 45 pounds of fuel pressure right now, which is good. So we have the oxygen sensors reading voltage, which is good. So like I want to show you this because, so say sometimes, and it's a big issue like on these cars, is the car will be running or you'll throw a code and it'll pop up like a P0420. That is a saying that your catalytic converter is dying or is dead. And so by coming in here, what you can actually do is doing this is you'll have the oxygen sensor 1, oxygen sensor 2. Oxygen sensor 1 is before the catalytic converter, 2 is behind it. So if you have where the catalytic converter is throwing a catalytic converter code that says, hey, it is your catalytic converter is dead, is reading outside spec. If we check here, we have the first sensor going, but then we're getting 0 voltage to the rear sensor. The catalytic converter is not actually bad, but the rear O2 sensor has died. So it's not getting a reading from it and it's telling you that the sensor is dead. Sometimes we'll throw an O2 code, sometimes it will not, okay? So you can record these things. You can combine them all together. You can go back, turn this off, engine load, engine speed. They have purge valve issues all the time. Turn on fuel pressure, turn on oxygen sensors, hood positions, don't do that. Injector duty cycle, ignition timing. So these are other good things, because ignition signal 1, because also I've made a video on this, I haven't seen it, about tracking down StabiliTrak issues in GMs. A lot of the times, well, first and foremost, negative battery cable and grounds first, but a lot of times it can be your coils dying individually. Okay, so this will help you kind of track that down. Purge valves die bad in these all the time. So the purge valve is running at 18%, and that is venting, which is good. If it's clogged up, that means it's not venting. That means it'll be hard for you to start the car up after you get gas. Ignition signal, I'm getting my full 14.5 volts from the alternator. I'm running anywhere from 1.5 to 5 degrees timing, depending on what's going on there in the duty cycle for the injectors. So you can see I'm getting live information from the computer right now as to what my car is doing, which will help me, if I do have code, still look and see, well, what the hell is that code? What is causing that? So this will show fuel trims, long-term fuel trim. You can see that if your fuel trims, I don't know what the values are offhand, but if you'll check it, they can be maxed out. So if you throw like a 173 code, which means you're running lean, that means that the computer is picking up that you're getting too much air into the system, which is caused by the PCVs failing on these first and foremost, and it will max out the amount of gas that the computer is dumping in through the injectors to try and balance that out, and it'll show the maximum of your fuel trim here, which will help you track down that system, or track down that issue. So as you can see, I got all this stuff here, all these things that I can read. I can read the memory, park neutral switch, power mode, short fuel trim, throttle position, turbocharger, boost solenoid. So there's all this sort of stuff. Now this is all for reading on the Cruise. I'm sure I would have different sensors on the Acadia if I hooked it up to that. Okay, then I have all these other different sort of systems that I can read through this live stuff. I can misfire data if I have misfire stuff. So, which I shouldn't have any misfire codes, and this will bring up the same thing, barometric pressure and all this stuff. So as you can see, I can read through all these things, and then there's an actuation test if you wanted to where I can go, if for whatever reason I get that my car is running hot or something like that, and like I feel like the fan's not kicking on, I can go maybe in here, yeah, cooling fan right there. I can go to cooling fan. I can send a signal to each relay to see if the fan will turn on and off. If I send signal through all these relays and the fan still doesn't come on, that means the fan motor is burnt out. So I know, okay, it's not the sensors, it's the fan motor. So as you can see, I'm going to turn my car off here now because we don't need to see her idling. So as you can see, this sort of reader is far more useful for upping your DIY game than just a standard code reader itself like this. This is always good to have on hand, just so you know what the issue is if something pops up, because if you don't have one of these, generally you have to go to like an auto parts store and they'll tell you. But if I have something like this, I can then take this, look through the data, and see what is actually causing the problem. That this would just tell me the problem is. What I'm showing, this will tell me where the problem is coming from, or at least help me track it down and narrow it down to make things a little bit easier on myself. So this is the launch version 3. It's pretty cool. As you can see, I was just fumbling my way through it. I want to actually kind of do things and figure it out as I go, so you get an idea of how easy things are to use or not use, as opposed to just coming here and be like, oh yeah, this is how you do it exactly, blah, blah, blah. I'd rather you see me use it in my own learning curve, so you guys can get an idea of how easy it is or is not to understand something. I think that is pretty generally easy to figure out. So yeah, this is the launch. This one is specific for GM vehicles. I think right down here in the mall, you can go and add extra stuff to this to work for more vehicle brands like Chryslers, Dodge, Fords, all this stuff. From what I gather, but I don't need that right now because I am nothing but GM cars here. So yeah, this is the launch. This is going to come in handy in the future. I'm sure you'll see it in future videos of mine of me using it, trying to figure stuff out. So yeah, I want to thank King Bolin for sending this out to me. And if you guys are interested in getting this, or maybe some other one of their products they offered, I'll have an affiliate code for you down in the description for you to check it out. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for you today. So like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff, and I will see you next time.